Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. So today we are learning the exact financial language used by literally everyone, from a tiny neighborhood lemonade stand all the way up to a giant tech company. And I'm thrilled to be joined by my co-host today, who is going to be asking all the questions you're probably thinking right now at home.
Hey guys. Okay, I've got to admit, accounting sounds incredibly intimidating to me. I'm a complete, absolute beginner here.
Well, you're in the right place, so don't worry. We're going to break this down so simply, we're taking you from zero to pro. Here's our quick roadmap for today. We are going to cover what is accounting, the golden equation, the profit scoreboard, the financial snapshot, the two-sided rule, and finally, tying it all together. Let's dive in.
All right, Section 1. What is accounting anyway? To help us out, let's meet a guy named Joe.
So let's imagine Joe decides to start a small parcel delivery business in his town. He calls it direct delivery.
Okay, so as Joe is getting this business off the ground, what actually is accounting? Because in my head, I'm just picturing a giant, scary wall of complex math.
That is such a common fear, but actually, scratch that, because accounting isn't complex math at all. It's really just a system to organize and record everyday business transactions. It's how Joe knows exactly where his business stands, so he doesn't, run out of money. A transaction is simply any business activity that involves money, like buying a delivery van or getting paid by a customer for dropping off a package.
Moving right along to Section 2, the golden accounting equation. Wait, hold on. What exactly is the accounting equation? I always hear people in movies or on the news talking about balancing the books, but can you give it to me totally jargon-free? What is this golden rule?
I absolutely can. The core equation is beautifully simple. It's just this. Assets equal liabilities plus equity. In plain English, assets are what the business owns. Think of Joe's delivery van or the actual cash sitting in his register. Liabilities are what the business owes to other people, like maybe a loan he took from the bank. And equity, that's what truly belongs to the owner. It's like a giant scale. What the business owns will always perfectly balance with how it paid for it. It either paid by owing someone else or by using the owner's own money. Okay, Section 3, the profit scoreboard. Now we're getting into the actual reports. Think of the income statement kind of like a video recording or a scoreboard for Joe's business over a specific chunk of time, like maybe a month or a full year. On the left side of the scoreboard, we have revenues. That's the money earned from doing the actual work, so delivering parcels. Over on the right, we have expenses. These are the costs required to do that work, putting gas in the van, paying wages. Revenues minus expenses gives us our bottom line. We call that net income. That single number tells us if Joe's business is winning or losing the game over that month. Okay, that makes sense. But what happens if Joe delivers a package in December, but the customer is, kind of lazy and pays late in January?
See, you just hit the nail on the head. That brings up a crucial point called the accrual basis of accounting. You record money when you earn it, not when you physically receive the cash. So if Joe does the actual hard work in December, it goes on December's scoreboard as revenue, even if the cold hard cash doesn't arrive until January.
All right, on to Section 4, the financial snapshot. So if the income statement is a continuous video recording, the balance sheet is a snapshot. It freezes time at exactly midnight on a very specific date. Let's look at Joe's business at midnight on December 31st. Under assets, which is what he owns, we list his delivery van, his cash, and those unpaid invoices from customers. Under liabilities, what he owes, we have a business loan he got from his aunt and any unpaid bills. And finally, under equity, we have Joe's true ownership value in the company at that exact frozen second in time. Quick question though. Joe is a really hard worker, right? Everyone in town loves him. Doesn't his great reputation count as an asset on this balance sheet? Nope, it absolutely doesn't. And this is a rule called the cost principle. Basically, if you didn't buy it for a specific price in an actual transaction, it does not go on the balance sheet. A great reputation or a really recognizable logo is incredibly valuable in real life for sure, but it is not an accounting asset. Let's quickly recap the critical difference between these two reports so you have a perfect mental map. The income statement is your video. It's the scoreboard, tracking profits and expenses over a whole month or a year. But the balance sheet, that's your midnight snapshot. It shows exactly what you own and what you owe at one single frozen second in time.
Section 5, the two-sided rule.
To make all these reports actually function, we use this invisible 500-year-old gear system. It's called double-entry accounting. Okay, stop right there. This is where I always get completely baffled, because On my bank app, a credit is a really good thing, right? It means I got money. So why does everyone say debits and credits are so confusing when we talk about accounting?
I am so glad you asked this. Do me a favor, forget your bank app for a second. Completely wipe it from your mind. In accounting, debit literally just means the left side of a ledger, and credit literally just means the right side. That is the whole shebang. Remember our golden equation from earlier? Because of that equation, every single transaction requires at least one left side entry and one right side entry to keep the scales perfectly balanced.
Let's actually look at the very first step of Joe's business to see how these double entry gears interlock. Joe decides to put $20,000 of his own personal money into the company. Step 1, we debit, meaning we increase the left side of our cash asset account. Step 2, we credit, meaning we increase the right side of our equity account, which we call common stock. One left, one right, perfectly balanced. Let's do another one. Next, Joe buys his delivery van for $14,000 cash. We credit, meaning we decrease our cash on the right side. And then we debit, meaning we increase our new vehicle's asset on the left side. Cash goes down, the van asset goes up. Both of these changes happen on the asset side of the equation, so the whole thing stays perfectly balanced.
And finally, Section 6, tying it all together.
Let's connect all these foundational concepts into one cohesive story. We're going to trace the life cycle of a single dollar through Joe's delivery business. On day 1, Joe earns the money. That shows up as revenue on our income statement scoreboard. On day 2, it gets recorded using our invisible gears of debits and credits. And by day 30, the bottom line profit from that income statement rolls directly into Joe's equity on the balance sheet snapshot. It's one continuous, beautifully connected flow.
Wow, looking at it like this, accounting really isn't intimidating at all. It actually makes total sense.
Exactly. Accounting isn't complex math. It's really just organizing the story of your money. By understanding these simple, everyday rules, you can read the financial story of a neighborhood lemonade stand or a massive global corporation. So the next time you look at your own bank account, ask yourself, if you were to draw up your personal balance sheet right now, what story would it tell? Thanks for joining us for this explainer, and keep learning.